There is some mistake in our current system.
Yeah.
We are only rewarding very dubious kind of profits. This is how we create money. We reward a very dubious kind of profit. And if you create profit, you can create money.
Hello guys, Fernando from the Korean Blockchain Network. This is day 2 in the Eternity 1 blockchain conference. I'm here with Andreas from Dorium. It's an interesting project and we would like to hear more about it. So let's first start with what is Dorium and how did you get introduced or involved with Dorium?
Okay, so first of all, thanks a lot for this opportunity. Pleasure meeting you. Andreas, 49 years, proud father of 2 daughters. I worked with a very close friend of mine in the north of Iraq a couple of years ago. We offered medical training to surgeons in the region. And we invited surgeons from Europe to join us, and we realized, or my wife realized actually, that we paid all the bills. So, which was okay for us. We achieved something. We created a new kind of healthcare over there. We supported some patients, surgeons, hospitals, but we had to pay for this. So when we were on our way back to Frankfurt once, we discussed in the aircraft, wow, if we use this airline, we receive a small little benefit.
Yeah. And like the air miles.
Miles and more, you name it.
Yeah.
But if we achieve something sustainable for our society, we have to put money on the table. We have to pay the bills. So there should be a reward system for people that try to change their situation. They try to solve problems worldwide. They try to improve whatever is in their way. So for this, we discussed for a while a concept which we now call Dorium, an additional ecosystem where a community is able to evaluate and reward social improvements. So, yeah. No, whenever I start to talk about Dorium, I will not stop, so you have to interrupt me. But we started this discussion in 2014 when we had no idea about blockchain at all.
Okay.
So it was just an ongoing discussion with some experts we met, with some people we met in the field, and all agreed that there is some mistake in our current system.
Yeah.
We are only rewarding very dubious kind of profits. This is how we create money. We reward a very dubious kind of profit. And if you create profit, you can create money. Private banks are offering you a loan, and by this, our economic and our financial system is creating 80 to 90% of the money supply, which is a nightmare. It's bullshit.
Yeah, and that of course, without the direct involvement of all of the people who are actually making use of the currencies created in the financial system.
Right. In the early days, my idea was, the government is doing that. The government is creating money, and we elected the government, so it's some kind of democratic. But at the end of the day, realizing that private banks, by issuing loans, are creating money, this was the point when we said, okay, we have to do something, we have to create something as an additional system for people that try to create some value. And this value, we call it the value token. It's a digital token.
Yeah, I can show it. Yeah.
It's over here. This is how a token looks like. Whenever you code, this is the final result.
Yeah.
So this value token I can now use to highlight in my profile what I achieved. This is the value I achieved in my project in the north of Iraq, or in my project in my hometown. Or I can use it to create money, to create a new kind of currency. We call it subs.
Yeah.
And with this currency, if it is a global currency and accepted worldwide, I can pay the bus in New York, I can pay my lawyer in my hometown, I can pay the water pump, I can pay whatever. So this is the idea, a new way of money creation, but always backed by value, and the value always evaluated by a huge community. So if you think about the implementation of a system like this, and you have no idea about blockchain, it's not possible. There's no way to do it. So when we got introduced to blockchain technology in 2016, I thought, wow, that's it. So the idea of even Bitcoin, if you read the white paper behind Bitcoin, is a new way of money creation, a democratic way of money creation. So even Bitcoin has already these kind of philosophy behind.
Yeah.
So in 2016, a friend of mine, one of our co-founders, Hessam, he checked all the different protocols available, the systems and approaches, and he came up with a list. And on this list, there was eternity.
Okay, and that's how you kind of, yeah, maybe that's like a good way to get into the next question.
Yeah.
Like how does eternity fit into this kind of new economic model that you guys are trying to create with blockchain tech?
I should mention I'm not a technical guy.
Yeah.
I stopped coding in the late 80s, so a couple of years ago. So for me, blockchain is a social tool to share responsibility with a huge number of people.
Yeah.
In a very transparent and democratic way, for sure, and it's secure, so it's beautiful. The Eternity blockchain we got introduced to by meeting Janislav in whatever event in Liechtenstein. I had to ask him regarding our project, what do you think? And we spoke about technology like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we spoke about the concept and the social aspects of it like 3 hours. And one of these very important sentences in my life I heard from Janislav that time, first meeting. He said, for me, blockchain is a tool to share responsibility. I thought, wow, that's it. So Eternity, for sure, they have all these lovely features like the scalability, the state channels, the oracles. Yeah. This is what for sure our Dorium project will need. But the most important thing for us, Dorium is in a process, let's say. It's an ongoing discussion with many people. Yeah. And this is how they developed even Eternity. It's a team, but a very dynamic process of ongoing development. And we believe that we still can be part of the next steps in development and add maybe a proof of stake, for example, or so it's not like in a box and we can't change anything. It's a black box and it's in there. You have to use it like it is. We can deal with it. So after we met most of the members of the team, we are 100% sure that this is first a very amazing team and a very amazing kind of technology. There's Erlang behind. It's very solid, very stable. So we just fully trust these guys, and we don't want to work on anything else.
Yeah, that's true. From being here at the conference, you also kind of get the idea of the values that these guys have, the developers have. So it kind of is in line with the social principles that underlies kind of the Dorium project. So it only makes sense then, to work together with them. How do you see blockchain technology influence societies? Let's make it more local. How do you think blockchain technology will influence your community in the coming decades, centuries?
Actually, there are two major features. Blockchain is today already famous for it. One is the currency.
Yeah.
So if you think about a democratic kind of currency, money, there's no other option. There's blockchain, and it's voting. So if you want to offer a huge community to participate in decision making and be active, involved, and share responsibility, there's nothing else. Yeah. So this will for sure have a huge impact on the life of my children, for example, grandchildren sooner or later. I'm 100% sure on that. but it's not a law. We still have to work. We have to go back to the garage and think about the technology, the potential behind. And the funny thing is, when my very close friend Hajir came up with the vision and concept of Dorium, we had no idea about blockchain. So it's not built for blockchain. We just realized after a while, wow, there is a tool to even implement this. It's not just an idea anymore. So for us, a dream came true when we learned more about Eternity and met the team. And
Okay, well, I would like to thank you for your time. Maybe for some closing remarks, how can people get involved with your idea, the idea that you guys are working on, the Dorium project? How can they contact you guys?
So first of all, after we finished the concept, now it's a kind of wooden PowerPoint presentation. It's a board game. There will be a pilot installation in March 2020 in a small city in Germany, where people can create value, create money, and pay the bus ticket. Okay. After that, we intend to establish different island projects. This is how we call it. Even in 2020, there should be some islands worldwide where people can create value, where they can share know-how and experiences and learn a bit more about Dorium. And this is what we have to connect later to a global network of validators, people who build blocks and verify achievements, or incubation centers, people who support social entrepreneurs. There will be a huge network, so everyone is invited to join sooner or later in different roles.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the conference.
For sure, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.